Welcome to the JCTR April 2025 Basic Needs and Nutrition Basket Monthly Briefing. Our theme for this month is Living in Action, Limited Options for the Poor. The Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection Basic Needs and Nutrition Basket, BNNB, for a family of 5 in Lusaka in April 2025 stands at 11,417 kwacha and 99 ngwe, representing a reduction of 128 kwacha and 79 ngwe compared to March this year. Under the basic food basket, the total cost of food items decreased by 36 kwacha and 61 ngwe to 5,058 kwacha and 98 ngwe from 5,095 kwacha and 59 ngwe. Notable price changes were observed in vegetables such as cabbage, rape, vondwe, and chihuahua, which increased to 717 kwacha and 22 ngwe from 643 kwacha and 53 ngwe, indicating an increase of 73 kwacha and 69 ngwe for a 40 kg bag. Most traders attributed this to the high irrigation costs and the reduced supply of some seasonal vegetables such as vondwe and chihuahua on the market. Fruits such as apples and oranges recorded a reduction from 57 kwacha and 33 ngwe to 47 kwacha and 48 ngwe per kg, indicating a reduction of 9 kwacha and 85 ngwe. Similarly, the total cost of essential non-food items dropped by 92 kwacha and 26 ngwe to 6,359 kwacha and 1 ngwe from 6,451 kwacha and 27 ngwe. The reduction was mostly due to a reduction of 62 kwacha and 50 ngwe in the average unit price of charcoal, which has now reached 500 kwacha per 90 kg bag from 562 kwacha and 50 ngwe in March 2025. Most traders attributed this to changes in weather patterns from the rainy to the drier season that resulted in increased charcoal production and ease movement from the production sites. JCTR takes recognition of this reduction in the aggregate cost of the BNNB in the month of April. However, this remains negligible given one of the highest increases recorded in the first quarter of 2025. The April 2025 cost of the BNNB for a family of 5 in Lusaka is also higher than the current average formal sector earnings of 7,731 kwacha and double the average national income of 5,369 kwacha. The high cost of living highlights various inequalities that undermine people's dignity. Drawing from the teachings of the late Pope Francis, especially Fratelli Tutti, we are reminded that each human being possesses an inalienable dignity and that authentic development must be built on inclusion and respect for that dignity. Thus, in the spirit of faith in action, fraternity, and justice, JCTR recommends the following. 1. Provide tax relief for workers. The government, through the 2026 national budget, should urgently revise the pay-as-you-earn tax bands and rates to cushion workers from the harsh effects of inflation and the rising cost of living. Injustice in taxation undermines social solidarity and worsens inequalities. In the words of our late Pope Francis, the poor must not be considered a burden, but an opportunity to show solidarity and generosity. End of quote from the Fratelli Tutti. Number 2, expand and sustain social protection programs. We urge the government to expand the social cash transfer and other safety nets beyond the emergency interventions, ensuring that extremely poor households are not excluded even after the emergency programs expire in 2025. Quoting from the late Pope Francis, we must say no to an economy of exclusion and inequality where the powerful feast on what is injustice, the bread of all. End of quote from the Evangelii Gaudium. Number 3, protect and promote access to natural resources through renewable energy. Building on the call from Laudato Si, we recommend deliberate investments in renewable energy, which are also affordable, and sustainable agricultural practices that rely on organic and locally available inputs to support poor households and reduce dependency on charcoal, which is now being used to exploit rural producers and has more negative health effects and consequences on the rural communities. Reflecting on the words of our late Pope Francis, the earth herself, burdened and laid waste, is among the most abandoned and maltreated of our poor. End of quote from Laudato Si. Our fourth and last recommendation is that the government must foster inclusive economic growth. We recommend that economic recovery and any debt restructuring conditionalities must be people-centered and not only profit-centric. We anticipate that the 2026 budget allocations are going to prioritize rural development, support for smallholder farmers, and youth entrepreneurship. These economic policies must enable the full participation of all citizens, particularly women and youth, in economic life and decisions. We reflect on the teachings of our late Pope Francis, who said, "A better kind of politics is one truly at the service of the common good." End of quote from the Fratelli Tutti. In conclusion, using the word of the late Pope Francis, solidarity means thinking and acting in terms of community, of prioritizing the life of all over the appropriation of goods by a few. End of quote from the Fratelli Tutti. JCTR believes that faith calls us not only to charity, but to advocacy for structural transformation. We urge the Zambian government to ensure that its policies in 2025 and the 2026 national budget, which is currently being prepared, truly reflects a preferential option for the poor, protects the dignity of all citizens, and promotes integral and inclusive human development. Thank you.